Hi, my name is Jared, and this is my sister Maggie. About 2 Januaries ago, I was invited to Grace Church, and the first Sunday I was there, until now actually, God started changing my life, and that led to that following March, I actually accepted Christ. And I knew a lot of my friends were going to the Philadelphia mission trip, and so I just figured, hey, my friends are going, it should be a good time, let's see what happens. I really didn't think about just how life-changing it could possibly be. I knew like Philadelphia was a different place, like we're not in Wayne County anymore. That's when I guess I would say I felt more uncomfortable just of my surroundings and stuff, but God totally used that the whole week. Coming out of my comfort zone, that just made me rely on God that much more, and He has changed my life completely that week. And throughout the year, back here in Worcester and stuff, staying around home, my sister actually started going to Grace Church, was it like a few months after? I feel like I should know this, right? I feel like a really bad brother. Was it when I started going? I kept thinking you went like sooner. Whenever she started going to church, I'm just kidding. At that time, if you would have asked me if I could ever imagine her going on a trip like Philly, my answer would have been no.
When Jared came home from Philly, I had been attending Grace for a couple months then, and I didn't really see a change in myself right away. Like, I was still trying to get used to the church, trying to get used to all the people, and I was still acting kind of selfish and like a little princess who thought she, deserved everything.
The more that year progressed, that's when I really first thought that maybe this would be a good trip for Maggie to go to. Just seeing what God's doing in her life here in Worcester, I thought that would be an awesome step for her to take forward in her faith and to really step out of her comfort zone. But then the opportunity for her to go on the Philly trip came up, and she was all gung-ho about it. She was going to go on a trip, and looking back last year, I would have never seen it. And then to look back and see what God did in her life to get her to where she is now, to want to go to Philly, I mean, that was just awesome. I was just so pumped that she would even think about going on that trip.
I decided to go on the Philly trip mainly because I thought I should. I was still a little unsure though when I signed up because I didn't really know anybody going except Tirza.
So I remember I called her the night before she left when I was in Florida. We talked and I just told her, I'm like, Mag, I went to Philly last year, and the biggest thing God did in me was He stretched me out of my comfort zone. That was pretty much the best advice I could give her. Like, times when you're out of your comfort zone, like, that's normal. God wants that for you because that's one of His best ways He can work in your life, is when all you have is to rely on Him. I knew it was all in God's hand from there. I was just excited when I would see her again when she got back from Philly then.
When we got to Philly, I was still a little nervous on the first day because I still didn't know anybody, and I'm not very good with kids, well, at least I thought. And I'm not very good with talking to people first, but in Philly I wasn't afraid to go up to someone on the streets and start a conversation with them or ask them to pray with them. And like during the VBS, I wasn't afraid to go out of my comfort zone and look dumb for the kids. Before Philly, I was saved, but I knew that I had to grow in my relationship with Christ, but I wasn't exactly willing to put in the effort to do that. But now, after Philly, like, I am willing to put in the effort, and I have a lot more patience now, and I'm better at showing love to, like, everyone, even when they get me mad. Like, my anger doesn't come across. I just try to love them. Before we both found Christ, Jared and I were not close. We didn't really have any deep conversations. I really didn't feel like I could go to him for anything.
Like, before, I really didn't like my sister that much. Can I say that?
You didn't like me?
No.
We definitely fought a lot.
I left her crying more and I said, I love you.
We had a lot of anger. Mine was mainly towards him. But now that we both found Christ, he's honestly one of my best friends, and I feel like I can go to him with any problem, and he's always there, ready for a solution, and it's always a solution that will help lead me closer to Christ.
She's one of my best friends now. I can't really say enough the impact that Christ has done through her in my life, and it's just amazing to see that. And I love her.
I realize that now I have to be a Christ-like example, and that means, going into school this fall and, on my volleyball team, really trying to show Christ and the love of God through them and hopefully help bring them closer to God. I'm Maggie Poorman, and I'm in.